Stampers. Billy Moan here today, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator for Stampin' Up! I wanted to show you today this, I know many of you have probably seen it, but this Watercolor Wonder note card set. It is so pretty, and the quality of the paper is amazing. I think you'll really find that it's going to make exquisite cards in a very short time. They're already stamped and inked for you, so you can just add a little bit or a lot embellishment to it. Aren't they beautiful? And make yourself some note cards for gifts or for yourself. Today, I was going to show this card. I had it posted on my blog and had several people ask me about the technique, which is real simple, and this card, of course, was very fast to put together. So this is what I'm going to show you today, this watercolor technique on this card. And we have a note card ready, so let's put that over here. And what I'm using here is watercolor paper, and I have cut it out using the Deco Labels framelit, and I used the second one here. And then I cut out the crisp cantaloupe layer with the second one here. If you're counting from the outside, I used 2 and 3 for this. Okay, so I'm going to take this watercolor paper and I'm going to spray it with water. I'm going to get it pretty damp. Can you see that? It's pretty damp. Then I'm going to I'm using this stamp set today, Springtime Hello, and we're using this little flower here and this little sentiment, Hello Spring, which I don't know about you guys, but down in the deep south we have really had an unusually cold and wet and icy winter, so I'm really ready for spring. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take this stamp set and we're going to color with our markers. Now when I'm watercoloring, I always start with the lightest color first, and this is Crisp Cantaloupe. And I'm just going to cover these flower heads here with the Crisp Cantaloupe. Then I'm going to take Tangerine Tango, and I'm just going to go around like the edges, leaving the center part lighter, so it'll have a little bit of dimension to it. And then I'm using Gumball Green. Can you see that okay? I can't tell if I'm on camera. I am. Okay. Goodness, sometimes. Alright, so we're going to color the leaves with the Gumball Green. And I'll tell you what, there's one thing on this card. We do not have to huff it because our paper is wet. So here's our wet watercolor paper. So we're going to put it down and hold it. And it was Bonnie Thurman, I think, at convention one year that says, while you're holding it, you should be telling yourself, Billy is awesome, Billy is awesome, Billy is awesome. Try that and see if yours work better. Okay, so there we go. Now I know it looks runny and blotchy, and actually you can direct some of that if you want to, or you can just leave it sit, and it's going to spread a little. And when you like it, or you can just walk off and leave it. You don't really have to do anything. You can see, let me get it up a little bit closer for you. You can see that it's already starting to spread. And it's just going to look like, I don't know, a blob of color. So I'm going to set that off to the side right now. I've got another one that I've already dried. I can't wait. So here's one that I did just a little earlier this morning, and I dried it with the heat gun, so you can see it's pretty blobby. I love watercolor paper and the effect you get. So here's what we're going to do now. We're going to wipe this stamp off with a little wipe there. Then we're going to recolor it, starting with our light color first, just like we did before. Every time you do this, I don't care how many times you do it, it's going to be different. It's never going to look the same 2 times. It's like snowflakes, I guess. So there you go. There's the 2 colors on the flower. And here's the Gumball Green on the leaves. And because this watercolor paper is dry now, we are not going to get that spreading of color. So I'm just going to go right down, just line it up more or less the way it was before. And there you go. Can you see that? Oh, let me get it back up here. Can you see that? So you've got the very distinct stamp on top of the one that bled on the watercolor paper. And that's how I got the effect on the little card that I showed you right here. Then, to get the Hello Spring on there, a lot of times what I will do is I will line my stamps up while they're already on the acrylic block, like this. Well, let's see, it goes this way. That might help if I do it right. Right? So that's where I want it on my card. So now I'll take that off. You can do them together. You could stamp them together, not when it's wet, but when it's dry. I could have left that on there. And I'm going to just mark up that little Hello Spring. And here's our dried one. And we're just going to set that right in there. There you go. Then I put this on dimensionals. I've got some right here. Let's just do that real quick. Just take a sec. I set this up a little bit. And this is real simple, and I left it simple, which is unusual for me because I'm like the bling queen. I love lots of layers, and I like ribbon. Oh my goodness. I just never know when to stop, usually. But this one's, there you go. So that goes on there. And then we would take this note card, that out of the way. And I put this one flush to the card just with adhesive. And that's it. I mean, you're done. So this is our little, I want to see if this one's dry. I was going to show you. See? It's almost dry. I could take it with a heat gun and dry it now and stamp over it. You just want to make it sure it's good and dry before you stamp over it again so that you get that nice, crisp, stamped image, which gives you this effect. Well, I hope that satisfies a couple of you. Some people had written to me and said, tell me how you did that. So, you guys get out your watercolor paper. If you don't have any, there is watercolor paper in the catalog. So, I hope you guys enjoyed that and come back to see me.